Welcome to a team selection video for UCL Fantasy. This is match day 10 now, so the second leg of the quarterfinals. And before obviously I get into the transfers that I have made and my future plans, I'm going to talk about how match day 9 went, and pretty solid overall. I'll take it. 73 points and a green arrow yet again to 6,000 in the world. Trying to creep into the top 5k, that would be very good, and maybe a push for the top 1k. We'll wait and see what happens there. Got 612 points overall, and once again a good captaincy. And it was kind of a bit of a weird situation because with the round of 16, for example, you got up to 4 captains and there was less margin for error in the quarterfinals, and it's just going to continue as we get deeper into the competition. But happy to have nailed the captaincy with Mbappe, and he did very well. And to be honest, I look at that PSG Bayern game, and Kimmich got 4 points, very happy with that. But then you got Marquinhos scoring a goal, and he did come off injured. Maybe if he stayed on the pitch, PSG could have kept the clean sheet. But to be honest, 8 points away from home against Bayern Munich, you'd take that any day of the week. And then again, you look at Bayern with their injuries, with Gnabry, Lewandowski, and now it looks like Goretzka's going to be injured as well. It's not looking too good, but yeah, very happy with Marquinhos. And then you look at the front two. I brought in Neymar. I just thought it was kind of an obvious pick because with Lewandowski out of the picture, with Messi and Ronaldo already eliminated, and I already have Haaland and Mbappe, Neymar's literally the standout, and I had him in the group stages, but then he got injured, I believe, so I brought him back in, very happy with it. And yeah, Neymar did the business. And Mbappe, I captained my highest scoring player, so can't really complain too much about that. Haaland got an assist against Manchester City, but I think, yeah, on the first day I captained Diego Jota. That didn't go according to plan. There were some people saying, oh, maybe he could have got the assist for Salah's goal, but it doesn't matter anyway. I look overall, kind of mistakes I made with my team selection. Maybe I should have just kept Phillips on with those 4 points, but it would have been a question of him and Marquinhos, and I wanted Marquinhos to start, I wanted Kimmich to start, and I didn't expect Coman and Goretzka to do so poorly. But it is what it is. Phillips only got 4 points anyway. Stones got 3. He's on my bench. Jota 2, and Hitz also with 2. So he matched Ederson, who did blank. So yeah, City didn't keep that clean sheet, obviously. And yeah, Rudiger with the clean sheet. Chelsea have only conceded 2 goals in the entire competition, so doubling or trebling up on Chelsea defence, I think, is the way to go. Other than that, maybe there's Mason Mount, Kai Havertz, maybe Ziyech, but I'm not really too interested in their attacking assets, just like with FPL. But yeah, Mason Mount would probably be the standout if I had to pick one. And then the 2 Manchester City midfielders once again doing the business. Foden missed several chances, but in the end he did get the goal, and Gundogan got the assist for it, so can't really complain about the City assets. Kevin De Bruyne is someone who I haven't mentioned too much recently, but he's just been ticking along nicely, and I think he has the highest points per game of any player. He hasn't played too many games, but when he has, he's done exceptionally well in the Champions League this season, and he could be the driving force for Manchester City. So overall, very happy, apart from Bayern Munich, very disappointing. Obviously, Goretzka, Coman just didn't do the business. Kimmich was alright, though, to be fair, although not much difference with him and Coman. And then, yeah, City defence pretty poor. I look at Jota and, well, to be fair, Phillips did alright, but you look at Jota, for what he can do, the potential he has, very disappointing. But overall, another green arrow and a decent amount of points this week, and hoping for more of the same and more if possible. This is how my team is lining up for match day 10, and there are a few transfers I have made already, and I'm also thinking about the results of the first leg and what I think will happen, which teams will go through. And I keep on stressing this to everyone, along with the substitutions and the captaincy changes you can do, because some people aren't aware of it. Another thing I have to stress now, especially in the knockout stages, just think about what you think is going to happen. Which teams do you see progressing? And obviously use the results that have just come about to kind of plan ahead. And also think about future transfers you would want to make and what could happen in the semi-finals. So I'll be explaining that shortly, but right now, as you can see here, I have fully bought into Thomas Tuchel, and Chelsea, I've trebled up on their defence. In FPL, I've got 2 of them. Well, in UCL Fantasy, I've got 3 of them. I brought in Azpilicueta and Mendy, so Hitz has made way, and Marquinhos. The reason why I have gotten rid of Marquinhos is because he is pretty much out of the second leg. He picked up that injury in the Bayern Munich game. He didn't feature at the weekend against Strasbourg for PSG, so he is going to be out, very likely, unless something happens and I get trolled there. So yeah, I did bring in Azpilicueta and Mendy for those 2. My midfield is still pretty much the same. I've got Coman, I've got Gundogan, I've got Jota and Phil Foden. The one change I have made, also another injury-related thing, Goretzka is out. He is very, very doubtful for the second leg against PSG. So I brought in Casemiro for those ball recovery points. Ideally, I would bring in Luka Modric, but for the other transfer I made, which was hits to Mendy, I wouldn't have had enough money. But going forward, if Haaland and Dortmund do get eliminated, I can downgrade him to Benzema, and that'll give me enough money to get Modric as well. And I think with Real Madrid, their midfielders offer the best value. And other than that, yeah, you have Karim Benzema, who's going to be a very popular pick if Real Madrid do make it into the semi-finals. And then maybe a defender like Varane when he's back. But I'll be honest, I'm not really too enticed with Real Madrid options other than Luka Modric and Casemiro and Benzema. The rest, they seem a bit average. Even Ferland Mendy, who, if he doesn't get a goal or assist, he's not really going to get you too many points unless Real Madrid do somehow keep a clean sheet. But that's looking further ahead. Those are the changes I made, those 3 transfers. So Casemiro, Azpilicueta and Mendy in. And yeah, Goretzka, Marquinhos and Hits are all out. My front 3 remains the same. Mbappe is going to be my captain for the first day. I think that's what's pretty much going to happen. I don't think I'm going to deviate from that. Am I kind of scared of players that I don't own? Probably Salah and De Bruyne. Even though Salah can be eliminated, Liverpool they need to do quite a lot to progress. Salah, I think, can score yet again. He has been Liverpool's best player this season. But yeah, from the players I have available, I think Mbappe is probably the clear winner. It's between him and Neymar. If Bayern Munich had Lewandowski, of course, he would be one to consider, but he just isn't in the equation right now. And yeah, going into the second day, in terms of the captaincy, probably, if needed, I'd probably go for someone like Haaland. They are capable of scoring a few goals, even against Manchester City. And then maybe I'll go back to Jota, but I'll be honest, I'd rather captain Salah if I had him. But I just simply don't in this moment in time. So yeah, I think the way it's going to go, very similar to the last round of matches. It'll be Mbappe captain and then probably Haaland or Diego Jota. And this is how I've lined up. I've already sorted out my bench. Remember, put all of the players playing on the second day or the last day on your bench. Make sure that no one playing on the exact same day on the first day is on your bench. Otherwise, you're going to lose out on their points and you're going to be kicking yourself potentially. But very happy with the triple Chelsea defence. Porto are still capable of an upset. The tie isn't over by any stretch of the imagination. However, what I see happening is Chelsea potentially keeping yet another clean sheet. It could be a 0-0, maybe a 1-0. And even if they do concede, I don't see Porto scoring too many goals. And I fancy Chelsea to even reach the semi-final and potentially the final itself. And they could even keep a clean sheet in one of those Real Madrid or Liverpool games, depending on what happens, of course. But yeah, I fully bought into the Chelsea defence. And there you go, I've got triple of their assets, which is obviously crazy. I rarely triple up on a defence, but I've done it here. Joshua Kimmich, to be honest, I had other kind of problems. If Marquinhos was still fit, it would have been Kimmich making way, and maybe I would have gone for yet another City defender in Cancelo or Diaz. I think that's what I had as a plan, but in the end, Marquinhos did get injured. And then going forward, maybe in the semi-final, I'll bring Marquinhos back in to replace Kimmich, but it depends ultimately on what happens. I do think PSG will go through. If Bayern Munich had Goretzka, Gnabry, Lewandowski, and a few of the other injured players available, I do believe that Bayern Munich would potentially go through. They had so many chances in the first game, and if they had Lewandowski there, it could have been a completely different game and scoreline, but it is what it is. But yeah, Kimmich stays there at the moment. My midfield, Gundogan, Coman, Casemiro, Jota. I'll be honest, the main kind of problem I would have is if Manchester City get eliminated. I need them to go through because I already have so many other assets and I've kind of bought into it. And if they do go through and the kind of results that I am anticipating do come to pass, then I'm in a very strong position. I look at my front 3 as well. It'd be a shame to lose Erling Haaland because he's such a great asset, but yeah, I'd rather lose him than lose 4 Manchester City players, and I'd still have the potential option of having people on the bench to come on if needed in the semi-finals, which can be very, very crucial. But yeah, Phillips, Ederson, Foden and Stones on the bench. They can all come on if necessary. And remember, you can just wait until the lineups are announced 1 hour before the deadline on the Wednesday, so around 7 p.m. GMT. And if your players are obviously starting from your bench, then you can bring 1 or 2 of them in for those who blank on the Tuesday game. So hopefully that clears everything up. Those are my captaincy plans. And yeah, To be honest, what happened in the first leg, I think is going to ring true in the second leg. So I think that Manchester City will go through, although I'll be honest, I have a little feeling that they could bottle it. They have done it before in the Champions League. PSG have a bit more certainty because of the 3 away goals, and I back them to go through. But to be honest, it doesn't make too much difference if it's PSG or Bayern, because I have a similar amount of their assets together. I've got 2 of each team. And then I look at Real Madrid. I've now got 1 Real Madrid player as opposed to 2 Liverpool. I do back Real Madrid to go through. They've been in good form in La Liga too. They won El Clasico over the weekend, and they just look solid. Their midfield is very, very good still. And yeah, and then I look at Chelsea. I believe they will go through. There might be 1 or 2 upsets, maybe just in a match, for example. So maybe Porto could win the game against Chelsea, but I still back Chelsea to go through. We'll have to wait and see what happens. But if what I think will happen, comes to pass, I would basically be going into the semi-finals with so many players. Only 5 players would be eliminated. So Haaland, then I looked at the 2 Liverpool players, so that's 3 overall. And then I look at the Bayern Munich players as well, so that'll be 5. And then all the PSG, City, Chelsea and Real Madrid players go through, and I'll be in a strong position. And then I'd be looking at the likes of Benzema, Kevin De Bruyne and other assets to fill out my team. So we'll have to wait and see what happens there. But yeah, you just have to start betting on certain teams. Who do you think is going to reach the final as well? And to be honest, with PSG versus City, I couldn't call that right now. I think City could dominate the game, but PSG on the counter-attack can pick them off, just like they did against Bayern Munich. But we'll have to wait and see. There's still no guarantee that those 2 teams go through. Same with the other side of the draw. Chelsea and Real Madrid, if that was the semi-final, I just couldn't call it, to be honest. Chelsea very solid defensively. Real Madrid have a much better midfield, and they still have dangerous players like Benzema. So very interesting one. But yeah, I believe that I have a strong team and that most of my players should be advancing, but as I keep on mentioning, the Manchester City game is going to be very, very crucial to how my team looks in the semis. But that is my team right now. Those are my transfers and my captaincy. Let me know what your situation is like down in the comment section below, and I'll be aiming to do a deadline stream 1 hour before the deadline, obviously on the Tuesday 7 PM GMT, so stay tuned for that. And if you enjoyed this video, smash the like button and subscribe if you're new around here. Hopefully you do very well in UCL Fantasy this week, and all the very best of luck. More green arrows to come, hopefully, and enjoy the Champions League football. Hopefully it lives up to the hype, and I'll see you next time.